Hey guys, it's James with AutOdometer, and today we're going to wash this 1997 BMW again. Last time I washed it, it was probably in June sometime, and it's starting to look pretty dirty. We got a bunch of bird poop, and the wheels are looking pretty sad as well. Just a film of dust over it and dirt over it as well. It's my third car. I don't drive it as often as I drive the 4Runner and the Sequoia. The 4Runner needs a bath, so does the Sequoia, but we're doing this one here today. And since I've been detailing here for the past year or so, or 6 months, I've learned some ins and outs of detailing. I'm no professional. If you guys see anything that I do wrong, please head down into the comments and let me know. But I've broken down the detailing steps into 8 different steps here for an exterior detail. We're going to hit the wheels, we're going to wash it, we're going to correct and protect it, then we'll hit the windows, the trim, and the headlights. If you guys want to see all that, stick around and watch till the end. As with all details, I'll start with the wheels first. I spray down the wheel and the tire with superclean degreaser's all wheel cleaner. I'll let it sit for a couple minutes, and then I'll either use my hand brush, and I just purchased these drill brushes, which it really sped up the process cleaning the tire here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and start using this wheel brush over the hand brush. Also, I feel like it probably would get a better cleaning action anyways. Once I finish up with the tire brush, I'll take some of my wheel brushes and clean the inside spokes as best as I can, and then I'll take a little detailing brush to get the nooks and crannies and the lug nuts. Once I was satisfied with how clean the wheel turned out, I started from the top and rinsed down all the dirt and soap residue. Before we start with a hard contact wash with my wash mitts, I want to try out this new little connection here that I connect to my garden hose. I'm going to skip the power washer for today just because sometimes it can get really cumbersome lugging that thing around, and I didn't feel it was completely necessary, and I wanted to try out this new hose connection here from Griots Garage. We're not going to see a thick layer of foam like we usually do with the power washer, but we are going to rinse off the vehicle of any loose surface dirt. And while we're doing that, we're going to be adding a thick layer of foam. While the foam was still on the vehicle, I quickly went around and got into all the little nooks and crannies, like the windowsills, the gas cap, the emblems, and things like that where a wash mitt wasn't going to be able to get to. Once I finished getting all the little nooks and crannies, I picked up some wash mitts. I have my 2 wool wash mitts, one for the passenger side, one for the driver side, just to be able to minimize some dirt transfer. I also have grit guards in the bottom of my wash buckets. I have a rinse bucket and a wash bucket. I also have a dedicated wash mitt for the lower panels right below that trim there on the door, which if you don't have a trim piece like this, just generally consider it anything below the top of the wheel wells. You want to try to hit it up with a separate wash mitt, just because these areas can get more dirty than the top of the car. Once we finish with the contact wash, we want to rinse the soap off quickly, especially if you're in direct sunlight. Thankfully, it was a pretty cloudy day today. But as you're rinsing it off, do take note, you will have some spots that you're going to miss, just that you won't be able to see when all the soap's on the car. So make sure you go back and try to get those spots off. Once we get all the soap off of the vehicle, we're going to step up to the correction step. Now first, for the correction step, we have to make sure that we take off all of the embedded contaminants on the clear coat. And to do that, I'm going to be using Griots Garage synthetic clay as well as their speed shine. I'm going to go across all of the vehicle as well as the windows and make sure that I get all of the embedded contaminants before we start doing any compounding. After we finish clay barring the whole car, you want to rinse off that speed shine before you dry the vehicle, because when you do a compound, you don't want to be compounding some speed shine into your paint. But what I also found interesting, every time I finish a clay bar step, I notice it looks like the car actually has some sort of protection on it, and I'm not sure if that's the speed shine or what. But after clay barring, the car is very smooth to the touch and it feels very glassy. So you know that you definitely removed a lot of contamination from the car. So we're going to rinse off the rest of the vehicle from the clay bar lubrication. Then we'll pull it into the garage and dry it before the sun has a chance to dry it on us. When drying the car, I used two pretty large waffle weave towels. I started on the passenger side and then went over to the driver's side, and I used a separate towel for each. I also finished with the wheels. Now I assume that the wheels are pretty much clean, but sometimes you can't always get everything. So I finished up with the wheels so I wouldn't transfer any hard road grime or dirt from the wheels onto the clean paint. I'll be using Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. Now this is a pretty retail level style compound. I don't think you're going to be able to blow through your clear coat unless you've been compounding and polishing your car for a very long time. This was my first time compounding an entire car before, so I stuck with the orange foam pad to give me the best cut possible, to give me the best shine. And as far as I know, the entire life of this BMW, it's never been compounded or polished before, so I don't have to worry about blowing through the clear coat and hitting the base coat. And as I go around the car here, I switch between my 6-inch orbital and my 3-inch orbital just to be able to get all of the nooks and crannies and all of the curved panels and things. There was a scuff mark down here on the lower panel, and I went on speed 6 with this orange foam cutting pad, and I was able to eliminate some of it, but some of the scratch was just too deep, and you're only going to be able to get that out through wet sanding and then reapplying the paint. I went ahead and worked myself around the vehicle on the top, on the side panels, as well as the trunk. I also didn't tape off the edges. I didn't feel like it was very necessary. The only thing, or the only downside of not taping off the edges, is I think you probably ruin your pad. The pad has a lot of black trim mark on the edge of the pad, so I'll probably have to get a new pad, but it's no big deal. When I finished compounding, I started noticing that the flecks in the base coat were really coming out, which was one of the looks I was going for. I was also trying to get out some of these scratches here, but we weren't able to get them out with this compound. Meguiar's sells this ultimate polish that goes along with their ultimate compound. I'm no professional by any means, and I'm not sure if I used the wrong pad combination. This is Griots Garage Fast Finishing Pad, and I was thinking that a polish could go on it. I'm not sure if I used too much polish or the wrong pad and polish combination, but I wasn't really liking how it was coming out. It was leaving some swirl marks on the car, so I went ahead and skipped the polishing step altogether, since the compounding step really brought out the paint color. Hey guys, I just finished up the compounding and polishing, and I was gonna put in one of those 3-in-1 waxes, or this also that one-step sealant, but I figured that would have been just rehashing what I just did on the compounding and polishing. So I figured I'd just do a really quick spray wax. I know a spray wax doesn't really give you much protection, but the sun's going down here, and I want to finish up the some of the dressings and the trims and things, as well as clean the glass and put a sealant on that. So just going to do a quick spray wax here. It'll be about a month to 2 month protection, depending on how much I wash it between now and then. And that gives me the ability to, here in the next couple months, be able to put on one of those sealants without having the sealant lasting too long if I were to put it on today. Let's get started on the spray wax. The thing I like about a spray wax is some of them you can add directly in sunlight, and you can also add some of them when the car is still wet, and you do your drying process as well as your correction or your protection process at the same time. Since I wanted to do a paint correction with the clay bar and the compounding, I didn't have the ability to spray the spray wax on while the car was still wet. This is probably one of my favorite steps of the detail, is cleaning the glass and also adding a sealant to it. I just like the effect that it gives, especially when you're driving down the road in the rain. So to be able to get absolutely perfect glass and to be able to have that rain beating effect, first you have to get yourself a good window cleaner as well as a good window towel. I'm using Griots Garage window cleaner as well as their PFM glass towel. Their glass towel you can fold into fourths, so you don't wet the entire towel all at once, and you can use it as much as possible. And then since I already clay barred the window when I did the clay bar step of the entire car, we'll go ahead and skip that step, and we won't do it again. We'll go right to the polishing of the window. Now, Griots Garage sells a fine glass polish. I don't see any large swirl marks or scratches in the window, so I will just use the fine glass polish. They also have a heavy duty glass polish that you can purchase. So add it to your glass polishing pad and then do a quick once over. I've noticed that this polish is very flaky when it starts to dry, so I don't want to seal in any of the flakes that I miss. So I go over the car once again with the window cleaner, just very quickly, about 30 seconds, and then I'll add the glass sealant. I'll add the glass sealant with a small little microfiber applicator pad. You just go in a cross hatch pattern, and you can add 2 separate layers. You let the first layer dry, and then you put the second layer on top. Let it dry for about 10 to 15 minutes. After the time's up, go ahead and wipe it off or buff it off with another glass towel or a microfiber towel if you have one. And then you should have a very nice beading effect on your windshield. Sometimes it's so nice that even when it's raining, you don't even have to use your windshield wipers. To finish up this detail, I'm going to hit up the headlights here. I'm using Meguiar's Plast X with my 3-inch orbital on an orange foam cutting pad. I wanted to give it the best cut possible, even though we did restore these headlights here from a pretty hazy condition a couple weeks ago. If you guys want to check that video out, it is out on my channel right now. I just wanted to make sure that we have the best detail possible and keep these lights as clean and as polished as possible. So I went ahead, it's a very simple step, just throw some polish on an orbital and a cutting pad, and it keeps them looking as good as new. To round out this detail as well, I'm going to put some Meguiar's Ultimate Black Trim Restorer on some of these plastic pieces here, as well as the door handles. So I've been told that if you have a silver car or a white car, sometimes the trim pieces, the contrast in color actually makes the cars look. So I'm going to go ahead and go around and try to get up all these trim pieces, as well as the front license plate. Another detailing step I always look forward to is making the tires really shine and pop. For this, I'll be using Meguiar's Hot Shine tire spray as well as a microfiber applicator pad to really try to get all of the spray into some of the grooves and near the wheel. Here we are at the end of the detail, and to recap what we did the wheels, we washed it, we corrected and protected it. We also hit the windows, headlights, and trim. So that's my 7 steps to an exterior detail. If you guys enjoyed that, I want to see if we can hit about 5,000 likes on this video. Also, if you guys want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. With that, I'm just going to go ahead and go around the vehicle and show you guys what it looks like completely clean. I'll also throw up some shots of what it looked like before, and then I'll show you some water and beading effect that's really cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video as much as I enjoyed making it. And with that, thanks for watching.